You step outside your front door, look up, and there it is. A drone, hovering, its camera pointed right at you. It's not delivering a package, it's the police. They're using these drones to respond to emergencies before officers even arrive on the scene. And what they're recording might just shock you. Today, we're talking about what this new wave of policing means for your privacy, your freedom, and your fundamental rights. Welcome to Law Unwrapped, where we simplify the law to protect your rights. So, what's actually happening? Across the United States, police departments are quietly rolling out programs called drones, as first responders, or DFRs for short. Cities like Chula Vista, California, Santa Monica, and even Brookhaven, Georgia, are already deploying drones for 911 calls. Here's how it works. A call comes in, and before a patrol car is even dispatched, a drone is launched from a rooftop. It can arrive at the scene within 2 minutes, sometimes even faster. It starts recording video immediately, streaming that footage live to dispatchers and police headquarters. These drones can follow suspects, monitor protests, check rooftops for hidden dangers, and even scan private property, all from the sky. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's happening right now, in neighborhoods just like yours. Now, law enforcement agencies argue that these programs are a massive step forward for public safety. They say drones help slash response times, which can be critical in active crime situations or medical emergencies. A drone can get eyes on a car crash or a reported shooting far faster than any officer stuck in traffic. This not only helps them assess the situation, but also keeps officers safer by giving them intel before they walk into a potentially dangerous environment. And there's definitely truth to that. In a life or death scenario, a few minutes can make all the difference. But this new efficiency comes at a cost, and that cost is your privacy. This is where things get legally complicated, and where our rights start to get blurry. The main legal shield we have is the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, which protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. The government, including the police, generally needs a warrant to search your home or private property. But here's the million-dollar question. Is a police drone flying hundreds of feet above your home considered a search? The courts are still grappling with this, and right now, they're split. The police often argue that if the drone is in public, navigable airspace, the same airspace a helicopter or a small plane could fly in, then they don't need a warrant. They're simply observing what's in plain view from a public vantage point. However, it gets much more complicated when that drone isn't just flying over, but actively observing. What if it uses a high-powered zoom lens to look into your backyard? What if it uses thermal imaging to see inside your garage? What if it follows you as you walk down the street, tracking your every move? This is where surveillance can cross the line from a simple observation into an unconstitutional search. The law is struggling to keep up with the pace of technology, creating a legal gray zone where our privacy is at risk. Adding to the confusion is the difference between FAA rules and privacy rights. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, regulates where and how drones can fly, things like altitude, speed, and staying away from airports. But the FAA has no control over how the police use the information they gather with those drones. That gaping hole is precisely where privacy violations happen. The FAA can tell police how to fly, but not what they can look at. So, what does all of this mean for you, an ordinary citizen? If your city has started a drone policing program, or is considering one, there are a few things you absolutely need to know. First, you have the right to ask questions. Is my city using a DFR program? If so, what are the specific policies? What are the drones recording? Who has access to that footage, and how long is it being stored? These are not secret state operations. They are public programs funded by your tax dollars, and you have a right to know how they work. Second, you can use your state's Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, to request public records. You can file a request to see the department's official drone policies, any warrants they've obtained for drone surveillance, and their video retention rules. Transparency is key. If a police department is using this technology responsibly, they should have no problem sharing these policies with the public. Third, and this is crucial, you still have a right to privacy inside your home and in enclosed spaces on your property, like a fenced-in backyard. The legal standard is whether you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, even if a drone can physically see over your fence from the air. A court may later rule that recording what you do in your own backyard is an unconstitutional violation of that expectation. These are the battles being fought in courtrooms right now. But perhaps the real danger here isn't just one illegal flight or one piece of questionable footage. The biggest risk is the normalization of constant surveillance. Every new powerful tool, from body cameras to facial recognition, starts with good intentions. It's introduced as a way to solve a specific problem, to catch criminals, to ensure officer accountability, to respond to emergencies faster. But over time, its use expands. Today, it's a drone for an urgent 911 call. Tomorrow, it could be a fleet of drones patrolling neighborhoods 24/7, using facial recognition to identify every person on the street and tying that data to your car, your home, your entire life. The line between ensuring public safety and eroding personal freedom has never been thinner. Once we accept widespread persistent surveillance as normal, getting our privacy back becomes nearly impossible. So, what can you do to stay aware and empowered? First, know your local drone policies. Most police departments are required to post their technology use policies online. Do a quick search for your city's police department and drone policy. If you can't find it, that's a red flag. If your city is not being transparent, file a FOIA request. You have a legal right to see how this technology is being funded, how the data is being stored, and who it's being shared with. Knowledge is power. Next, you can push for local ordinances. In many states, communities have the power to regulate how police use surveillance technology. You can advocate for policies that require a warrant for any drone surveillance, except in true life or death emergencies. Get involved in your local city council meetings. Make your voice heard. And finally, if you believe you have been filmed illegally by a police drone, contact a civil rights or privacy attorney. Organizations like the ACLU are actively litigating these cases. Courts are just now beginning to establish precedent on drone surveillance, and your case could help define the line between legal and illegal searches for everyone. The future of policing is already above us. The question we have to ask ourselves isn't simply whether drones make us safer, it's whether the society they create is one we want to live in. A society where we trade a little more freedom for a little more security, over and over, until there's no freedom left. Know your rights. Protect your privacy, because once surveillance becomes the new normal, our freedom won't be so easy to get back. Thanks for watching Law Unwrapped. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the laws that affect your life. Stay safe and stay informed.